There's no time to waste.
Alright guys, in today's episode we take our old dilapidated gray 190E interior and turn it into this. Well, that's it. Let's get Benz'n on a budget. Alright guys, well, welcome back. Welcome to channel Anderson. If you're brand new here, this is the 190E that we have titled for the project Benz'n on a Budget, which is me buying this car for super cheap. I bought a C230 compressor coupe way back now and took the drivetrain out of it. Also super cheap. And we're trying to finish this project for as little and low as possible, but end up with a really cool car at the end. So right about now, we're about $1,200 to $1,300 in on everything. And I think we're gonna be able to finish this for under 3,000, maybe 4,000 at the very most, but could be under that too. So we recently picked up a set of Sparco Alpha seats, which are actually in really good condition besides a little bit of sun fading on the shoulders, which is an easy fix with some dye. But yeah, these are gonna be going in. They are a bit of a tight fit, but I test fit and I think I can get them to work with our garagistic brackets, which are sitting over here. Before we do that though, we gotta get this interior up to snuff, and that starts with the carpets. All right, you guys, I got a little more room to work with, and I've cleaned up the pieces that were sitting in the inside, besides a few more things. You gotta get the center tray over there. This over here, the pile, is all of our garagistic stuff, which huge shout out to Garagistic for helping out the project, and they've come through in a big way, honestly. All of the seat brackets, a ton of other components that we're gonna get to in later videos. But yeah, all of this is gonna make mounting these possible, a direct fit. A lot of little stuff like these, which I just threw in one to see what it looked like. It's a nice little upgrade, little billet aluminum lock pieces. So I'll be switching those out. And our shifter, obviously. So we're gonna get that thing solid mounted once we get our carpets out. I also picked up a spare e-brake handle because the one that's in the car right now is missing the button on it. And it's just not really functioning properly. Like, it's still pulling, so I just need to take that out. So I'll do that once we get the carpets out. All right guys, I've gotten pretty much everything out of our way, I believe. I'll have to go through the wiring. There's some extra stuff in here, like for stereo stuff. I'll have to see where it connects to and kind of what has been chopped up. So that'll be fun, but we'll get to that. Now I need to get the rear seat bottom out, I think, for the carpet. So I believe this is very easy, if I remember correctly. Supposed to push down on these tabs, lift up, I believe. Let me try that on both sides, and I can set you guys up. Okay, let's see if we can do this together. There we go. Yes, no, maybe so. There we go. Easy. Oh, the joys of old cars, guys. If it works, and it's so simple, why can't you just keep doing that? Look at this. It's a simple spring mechanism. That's all it is. And it holds it securely in place. And then the back is anchored in just by slotting into the right spots. Why not keep it that way? Anyways, let's get this out of here and find the change that I just heard. Because we are on a budget after all, so all that change has got to be kept. Get this out of here. Yeah. All right. And I've contemplated, because the back seats are still in really good shape, I've contemplated dyeing these and just making the back seats black that way. Or if I'm gonna hold off until the forbidden fruit of a black interior 190E pops up at a pick and pull in Washington and see if I can be the first one that makes it to get to them, because they always go like hotcakes. And yeah, kind of feel like they get told to the people that are friends of the people that work at the pick and pulls first, and by the time you show up, even if it's only been there for a day, they're absolutely picked apart like a buzzard brigade had been visiting. So I might just dye them, I don't know. I've used Angelus leather paint many times on seats and things like that, and has worked fantastic. My Recaro in the C55 is dyed with Angelus leather paint, and it's held up fantastic, as well as the steering wheel actually, for like 4 or 5 years, and it's still working flawlessly and holding up flawlessly. So more change for the collection. Anyways, that's my thoughts. All right guys, and talk about old car build quality. Look at the amount of sound deadening that is just everywhere in this car. Like, as bad as I wanted to make this car, you know, race car spec and have a really clean, just bare interior with a nice bare floor, when I started looking under the carpets and seeing the amount of this stuff, which if you don't know how to get this off, you basically have to dry ice it, let it sit on there, and then scrape it off. And it is a job and a half, and I don't feel like doing that for this. So that's why I decided to keep the carpets and just dye them. But this is crazy, so much. Like even I've had my 203 apart and stuff, and it's nowhere near this level of attention to reducing NVH and just making the cars solid. So Bruno Sacco and those guys back in the day, they were on a different level. All right guys, and then from here, to get the carpet out, all we're gonna need to do is, if I can get under these, pop up these little door cards, wherever you want to call them, door trims, and that'll free up carpet. I'll need to get that lower seatbelt trim cover, and then there might be a few pieces like these little side kick panels that might need to come out. So let's just do the job. Try to use our super finger strength. I had this one off before. I might need 2 hands to get a good hold on it. Maybe not. Let's get it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Next one off. Cutting my hand. Good. Okay, and then these pieces up front are a lot of like separate pieces. So I'm gonna vacuum that. And you can see what I'm talking about, guys. Look at the amount of sound deadening everywhere. I don't even want to know how long this would take for somebody turning this into a race car floor. Long job, needless to say. But okay, this one might need to take off some of these panels to get this off without breaking it. And then these are all just a little crusty because nobody's ever moved them, but do it like that. What was that? Piece of plastic? Okay, well, there we go. What is going on here? Oh, this might be there. Oh, this is. I might keep those in place because I think they upgraded the speakers at some point, because there's new speaker wire running to all this. So I'm gonna leave it, because my plan for this car is I'm gonna make there's these things I saw called like, I don't know, Bluetooth amplifiers or something like that, where it's just a little receiver, Bluetooth receiver that is an amplifier, and you can hook them up like a regular stereo but leave them hidden somewhere, and that way you can just play music off of your phone. Don't need to have like an actual head unit. I saw them back in the day on a Japanese YouTuber's channel, so I'll have to look at what they were called exactly, but I think that's what they were. So that's my plan with this car. Make something hidden, because I'm going to do a lot of like delete trays in the front and delete panels to make it as clean as possible, and so I don't have to source the unobtainium, which is 190E interior pieces. Like even this vent piece, if you found a new one of these or found a really good one, which this one is actually not that bad, they go for big money and they're just impossible to find. So I'm not gonna try to spend my time finding every little piece. If I, you know, magically stumble upon a 190E with black interior at a pick and pull, somehow I will gladly remove all that is good from it. But other than that, I'm just gonna custom make pieces so I can keep it simple and cheap. So, all right, yeah, guys, it was just clipped in, so just slid out of place. I think I had like a little, I don't know, felt like Velcro back in a bit, but maybe not. I think it just slid out. And a little bit of padding right there, and that's about it. So I think this is ready to, yeah, it's ready to slide up. This is its own little piece right here. So I can get this out. Some of them have these little clips still if they've never been taken apart, so I'll get that out. And then that's one little piece. Another one little piece right there, and then this back half is really the biggest piece. So I'm gonna finish this up, guys. It's not too much. Maybe I'll time lapse here real quick and catch you once we get it all laying on the floor outside.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
All right, you guys, it is out. It was a bit of a workout, but it is out. The foam pieces, some of them did not want to come off of the floor. They're just getting kind of ripped to shreds. But what can you do about that? I don't know, besides like heating up the floor. Something maybe would have come a lot easier, but I'm not too concerned about it. Yeah, once I got everything out, you can kind of clearly see wiring path of everything. It's a lot less than the later cars, but still, you know, quite a bit. And, you know, like the vacuum lines for the locks and this and that. So a lot of different stuff hanging out. But for the most part, now that we're here, I'm just gonna get this all cleaned up as much as possible and then start to work on this. And as bad as these are, I think with a little bit of cleaning and vacuuming, that we'll be able to get them prepped enough to look not brand new, but pretty good using our vinyl paint. As tempting as it is to just, you know, custom make a bunch of carpet to go in here or something, I just think this is still gonna turn out a little nicer. It's gonna fit better, even with it being, you know, old tired carpet. The template of it and the way it fits into all the places is, it's hard to replicate that, you know, that same mold without using factory stuff. So we'll do what we got to do, get this cleaned up. I'm gonna go take a breakfast break because it's early and I haven't even eaten anything yet. So I will catch you guys back once we're ready for part 2 of this saga: cleaning, prepping, spraying, letting it dry, and throwing it back in. All right, guys, all vacuumed up. Honestly, they cleaned up pretty good for just a, you know, scrubby vacuum head. A lot better. There's some stuff, it's just like they try to use like a, I think it's like butyl tape to try to get one of the plastic covers to stick, and just, yeah, I'm not gonna get that out of there without like, I mean, I could try the old WD-40 trick, but that piece is so hidden anyways that I'm not even gonna worry about it. Obviously there's stains, looks like a lot of coffee stains underneath the seats, which again, most of that is not going to be visible, and it's not like, it doesn't change the texture of the carpet, so it's going to be fine when I spray over it. I'm not even going to be worried about getting these all spotless. Black will cover pretty much majority of what's going on here, so that's what we'll do. What was I going to mention to you guys? Something else. Oh, the center trim piece, like the actual center console, I was kind of back and forth on what I wanted to do with that setup, but I think just to keep it clean and without having to do a bunch of, you know, stuff to what we got going on here for wiring and all that, I'm just gonna keep it as is, OEM style. It's a nice, clean, easy piece, so I'll just stick with that. Maybe later down the line we can mess around with making something custom of our own, but for now, let's just move forward, make progress. So let's do that. So I think at this point, we are ready for our duplicolor spray. Again, I got 2 of the gloss and 1 flat. So I think I'm gonna start off with this just because we'll do that with the base coat and we'll see how much we can get through, and then we'll finish it off with the gloss. And that way, hopefully we'll have a 3rd gloss can left over for things like, you know, the center trim, and if I want to do any of the other pieces in here. These pieces are usually gray no matter what from factory, for even black interior, I believe. So I don't know, I would like to do something different and make these black, but you know, the rest of the headliner, stuff like that, usually on even black interior Mercedes is usually still gray. The one that I know off the top of my head, like the C43, is black on the kind of side bolstering, but it's still a gray headliner. So I'll probably just leave things as is. The door cards in this car, I am gonna keep them for now. I'll clean them up, obviously, stuff like this, but they're not terrible. They're just a bit like foldy up top, or you know, coming off the seams a little bit up top, but for now they do the job. They're not like hideous by any means, just some areas. This one's in pretty good shape actually. That one is okay. The driver's side needs a little bit of love, but overall they'll do the job. Am I slamming on all the buckle? But yeah, eventually I would love to make like some custom door cards for this, or Garagistic does have some carbon fiber door panels, so that would be like the best end goal. So I'll see if they could maybe help me out with something like that, but that's a pretty penny for those pieces. And yeah, so we'll get to that, but I think it's time. Let's go ahead and start spraying these carpets. I'm gonna lay down some moving blankets so I don't coat the garage floor as well, and then I gotta get in here still and vacuum underneath all this and collect the rest of my changes in here, because you know, gotta get that money back. So we got a good pile going in here already. I'll get the rest out and we'll do a little documentation on what our final collection is, just for fun. So yeah, let's start spraying. Okay, as far as this product goes, nothing real special on the directions. Depending on the surfaces, like if it's, you know, plastic you're trying to do, is a little bit different prep. But as far as carpeting goes, from what I know, you just spray it on, and then after you let it dry, you can rub the carpets with a brush to kind of, you know, move the fibers around, make sure you're getting all areas. And my plan is kind of, you know, I'll spray in one direction the first coat, move it around with some, you know, brush action, and then I'll probably spray different direction second coat, and different direction third coat, etc. So should be able to get all angles like that. And then it says dries in 30 minutes and then can be handled in 1 hour. So yeah, should be pretty straightforward, nothing much to it. So let's just get spraying. Let me find a mask for myself, since I'm going to be enclosed in the garage. Maybe I'll crack the garage door open, and let's get going. All right, guys, I think we're gonna be in good shape. Let's mask up, get the time lapse going. Alright you guys, second can down, and it's getting pretty good. It's still, I mean, depending on, you know, what direction the fibers are facing, it's still gonna look a little bit streaky right now, but I'm gonna let this dry, settle for a little bit. I'm gonna come in here with a clean brush and just kind of move it all around, and then we're up for the third can. So I guess the good thing is I've kind of figured out, you know, the amount needed. So I'm gonna say for a big piece like this, you should definitely pick up 3 cans. And then I think for all these little pieces, these are kind of like, the combination of those is probably about equivalent to this size. So I'll pick up another 3 cans just to be safe at the store. I'm gonna guess it's probably gonna be like closer to 2.5, and then I'll use a little bit for the actual center console. I meant to test spray actually. Let's see if I can get a little bit more out of either one of these. See if I can test spray. Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna have to do something. That we're gonna have to clean it up, but I think it'll probably come out pretty even with maybe the matte is gonna be better for that. I'm not sure. We'll test it out, but I'm definitely gonna have to acetone that thing to get this stuff to grip up on it. So we'll do that once the time comes. I'll wipe that off right now, but yeah, it's looking good so far. It's like panther fur. All right guys, we are back. We've officially completed our third coat. It looks a bit different on camera than it does in person. I would say it looks better in person than it does on camera right now, at least. But yeah, pretty much not really much streakiness left. I used a brush in between, the camera died, but I used a brush to kind of rough it up before I put down the third coat, and I think this is plenty passable. Texture wise, it's not great. I mean, I think it's gonna soften up like with actually getting used, but it is a little bit rough to touch compared to, you know, unpainted. But I mean, your feet are gonna be touching most of the time with shoes on, so I'm not really worried about it. It's passable. What I'm moving on to right now is finishing up mounting our garage stick shifter. So I have the one riv nut that I used up front that was actually an M10, and the shifter holes are designed for M6. So found my M6 riv nuts. We're gonna do those instead. I just gotta find a set of bolts out of my factory bolt hoard over here, which I should have plenty. Always keep your guys' old hardware. It always comes in handy. I have this, and I have a plethora of other containers that I have factory hardware in, so I don't have to make as many runs to the hardware store and, you know, break up time on jobs. So yeah, let's find a couple good M6s out of here, and then we'll get these mounted up. All right guys, got one hole marked. If I can see where it is again. Oh, don't tell me I'm running out of battery. Yes, I am. Hold on. Okay. Okay, that should be okay. Let's test it out. Okay, let's see. All right. Should be able to spin this out. Hopefully you guys can see decently. Okay. There we go. All right. Hopefully you guys could see okay in that process, but yeah, there it is. M6, and now I gotta mount up shifter again and then test fit for the third one. Guys, besides jinxing myself on the bolt situation, I mean, we kind of got matching bolts. I'm gonna get 2 new ones, 6mm ones, to replace those, but
Shifter is nice and solid mounted. The one thing that I won't know until actually having the transmission in is if this throw is enough room. I believe it will be, but if it's not, we still got a little room that we can notch out of the tunnel. Next thing I want to do, replace our e-brake handle here, because this one is just not working without the button here, and the button is kind of hard to pop off by itself, so I just got a whole new assembly. Basically a couple bolts, little lock pin, and should be good to go. So swap that out real quick, and then I need to run to the store to pick up 3 more cans of our vinyl and fabric spray. Just reloaded, so we got 3 cans again. There's a little bit left over in this one in case I need. And also to point out earlier, this stuff sticks extremely well. I literally wiped it off as soon as I did that and showed you guys, and it's like already on there. So I'm gonna acetone this thing before I do this one. It's gonna be the last piece I do. But yeah, we're ready to move on to the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. All right guys, second coat done, and we're almost there. I'm gonna hit it with one more coat, and I think it's gonna be matching up, but I'm gonna let it dry for a little while, do the same thing I did, kind of vacuum and brush it once it's all dry, and then we'll do the third coat, and then we'll be done. And I can't wait, because I want to move on to other things, but this is not so bad. Altogether, I think I spent around 70 bucks or so in paint. So a carpet kit online was about 350 bucks if I remember correctly, and it wasn't factory stuff, so you never know how the fitment's going to be exactly. So I think it's still worth it for what I did. I had some other ideas, but time-wise, etc., I think this is probably my best chance. So all right, you guys, we are back later. These are all dried up, and I'm gonna say this is pretty much the finished product right here. There's a few spots that kind of, I don't know, they look like they're not like dyed, but they are. It's just the way the fabric is lying on the carpet. But like the floor mats turn out fantastic, the main ones, which is what you're gonna see. These ones are all kind of hidden and you don't really see them too much. So I think our main attractions, you know, the big piece in the back and these two, really, they're looking good. So all right, you guys, one more job tackled. Got to work an e-brake. Definitely need that for our drifting possibilities. Just kidding, but it is nice for once to have a Mercedes with a floor mounted e-brake instead of a foot pedal. So love it. Thank you, California car, that gave this up for me. Good to go. So they're not like, you know, the beefiest, but it'll do the job. And at least we can leave that engaged. Don't need to worry about having the car on the blocks anymore. Functional e-brake, that's a win. All right, guys, well, you know how it goes with the while you're in there projects, and we almost got the rear tray out. Upper seat is really easy. You basically just pull up and it will come off the notches here. Like I said, they knew what they were doing back in the day. They made it easy to work on, and they wanted you to work on it. So my third brake light basically destroyed itself coming out of here. A lot of the plastics in this car are just like, I mean, you touch them or look at them the wrong way and they just shatter. But anyways, there were 2 little clips, little body clips that hold in the tray, and then you need to pop up the little, what's it called? Why am I forgetting the name of that right now? First aid kit tray, which is in here and hard for you guys to see, but there are 2 clips that hold this on that I basically need to pop up right there. So one on that side and one on that side. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna need 2 hands, and that's the last thing I need to do before I can slide the tray out, I believe. All right, you guys, rear tray is out. You can see, I don't know what these speaker wires are doing that they had run back here, but there's not even any speakers in the trays back here. So that's a bit strange, and I would like to grab some, to be honest, because this is a car that I would like to have some, you know, some sort of stereo in. So anyways, I was looking, there's a 210 brake light that looks like I could probably make it work. I don't know what the plug scenario is like on it, but I could probably adapt it to what's in here. The plastics in here, guys, are just, oh, they've seen better days. Even the plug on this thing, I try to just move it and it like disintegrated itself. So it's basically just a power and a ground. So if I can find any type of assembly that'll fit in there that I can mount that uses, you know, a similar bulb or whatever, I think we should be able to make it work. And even if we ran without a third brake light, I don't think anyone would notice, but we'll do it proper. So supposed to have them in America, we'll do them. All right, guys, well, I'm out of paint, kind of out of patience, and also out of time because I got work in the morning. But rear tray is almost done. It needs another coat, but I'll have to pick up some more of the paint tomorrow. I'll get 1 can of gloss and 1 can of flat so I can experiment on that thing, and we'll be able to finish this up. I'm out of time, guys. I'll catch you tomorrow. All right, you guys. Well, since the last clip, we got some catching up to do, and apologies, I did a little bit without you. The centerpiece here, I finished in the flat black. It's not perfect. It's kind of, I don't know, I'm not sure if maybe I didn't clean a few areas enough or if I just didn't get the best coverage, but I kind of feel like I could hit it with another can, or I may even get another can of the gloss. Actually, I didn't think I wanted to go with the gloss, and this looks okay, but I think it might be like almost a little too dull, and I think the flat is kind of like, sometimes flat paint kind of has that, I don't know how you say it, like kind of chalkboard, like worn out chalkboard look, where some areas don't look as clean as the others. So it just has some areas that, I don't know, I'm being picky, but overall it looks pretty good. If it was in the car, nobody knows, it's pretty passable. And what I'm going to start on now is our seats. So I don't really plan a lot of this, guys, but I'm going further than I originally had planned to or anticipated doing. But I figured, hey, if I'm going for it, I might as well just send it and try to do everything I can in black while things are out. The carpets are in. I don't even think I showed you guys this yet, but the back half of the carpets are in. And I have these things kind of resting in case I do need to pull them to be able to run the seats. I think I'll be able to squeeze them in. I was also thinking about possibly painting those and these trim pieces as well. So I think I am going to do that, to be honest, because that way it'll just kind of leave like these front trim pieces and the headliner, which is in really good shape. I'm going to leave those alone because most Mercedes black interiors always have a gray headliner still, and sometimes the pillars. But if I can get this piece or these pieces, the B pillar pieces, and these little felt liners, and I'm going to try to look online too. Maybe I can buy these new. I think that would be like the last little finishing touch that would really bring it to life. And then the other thing that I did today was took this thing to work and I sanded it down. I basically chipped all the old flaking epoxy top layer off and sanded it down. I went a little too far in one spot on the corner right there, so I'm gonna have to get some wood filler and kind of shape that area. And then my plan with this, to be honest, after I wood fill it, I'll probably paint it and then just epoxy coat it after that. So it'll hold up plenty for what I needed to do. And the really cool thing about these is all the buttons pop out. So I have all those. I'm going to clean all those up individually, and you can actually order them. I might order a couple new ones for the windows because one of them that I have is kind of worn. So yeah, I think this is enough structure here still that I can build something good out of what's remaining of this skeleton. So I was going to like make a little CAD model and have my buddy cut it out with a CNC machine, but might be overkill. Might not need to. It would be cool. So I may still try it if I'm not happy with how this turns out after whatever I'm going to end up doing. But, you know, it's an easy template in case I do need to make it myself. So I can probably leave, you know, these as is, or I could always do the same process to these pieces too. This one's decent. It's got a little crack here. And then besides that, I think that's, yeah, there's some kind of streaking cracks in the top piece, but not very noticeable. This is pretty good. I did chip this corner a little bit of the opening for the screw hole when I was taking it out, and then it just has a bunch of the cassette tapes. I'm honestly, like I said, guys, I'm going to try to figure out how to do like a Bluetooth radio setup or a Bluetooth amplifier to where this is hidden, and I'm just going to make a nice little like delete panel. At least that's the plans. Even with this thing, there's 3D print files online for these, and I may just do that, make one out of plastic. So I want to kind of make as much as I can by myself, like DIY style. So we'll see, but obviously I'll use what's there. But for now, this is the job that's at hand, which is our seat bottoms and seat upper. I'm gonna try something that I haven't tried before, which is this Angelus leather dye. I've used Angelus paints, which are absolutely fantastic. I use them to refinish my C55 steering wheel, which I'll pop up for you guys. And I also use it to do the passenger side Recaro in the C55. And that was Angelus just black acrylic paint, leather paint, and it holds up fantastic. This is a leather dye. I figured I would go for the dye just because I'm covering a lot of surface here, and I want it to still, you know, remain plenty flexible, which my Recaro is still flexes a lot, and it's never cracked or done anything weird. So the paint probably would have held up fine, but I just figured, I don't know, I would try the dye. If it doesn't work, I'll paint it. All right, you guys, this is not the same seat. Your boy had it on time-lapse mode, and I thought I was recording a regular video, but oh my God, guys, this thing turned out fantastic. I'll have slowed the video down, hopefully, when it was sitting out here so you guys can see, but my goodness, what I was saying, the Angelus leather products never cease to amaze me. I have not tried this before this time, and man, pleasantly surprised is all I can say. This is fantastic. I was not sure how much I needed to order, so I bought 4 of these things thinking, you know, more is better than too little, and I didn't even make it through half of one of the bottles. I still got literally like half of it inside of this bowl right here. The applicators that they come with are the ones to use. I tried to use a sponge at first, and to be honest, that's the only spot that turned out kind of like streaky. So as soon as I started using the regular applicator, it was way easier and wasn't doing this. So I think I can probably, if I use like a little bit of, I don't know, conditioner or something, I can probably get that to blend a little bit, but it's not very noticeable. And once they get kind of used, then I don't think it'd be noticeable. But guys, this is crazy. If you look at this, you would think that it was just a regular factory black seat. It's impressive to say the least, to go from that to that, and then just one coating. You guys saw the video, the time lapse. It was just streaking back and forth with a little applicator, getting in all the nooks and crannies. One coat, and it's already good to go. It's supple. It's still like regular leather. I've used the leather paint, like I said, in the past, which is also fantastic, and it's been super durable. But now that I know this stuff works the way it does, this is definitely going in my arsenal for any type of stuff like this in future. So much so, I wish that I would have done the center console in the same stuff, and I'm planning to do the B pillars in this tomorrow. And I'm going to figure out something for these as well. I just feel like this and the B pillars will tie in the rest of the black interior, and then eventually, obviously, we'll do the door cards. You know what? Like, honestly, I got 2 extra bottles. I bet I could get these door cards covered. But the only thing is, they're a combination of, you know, not only the leather, but also plastics. So I don't know. I did want to make my own door cards for this build, or try to get the carbon fiber ones from Garagistic. So I'm not, you know, it's not a for sure thing, but I could do it if I wanted to. A random thought, and I was recording this also on the time lapse, but a random thought for you guys. What do you think about the mirrors? Should I stick with the OEM style mirrors, or should I do like a DTM setup like I did on my C55? This is still intact, but they're rock hard. They're supposed to be rubber. I already broke that one's off over there because I was just kind of getting curious of what does the skeletal structure look like for these mirrors. They're screwed from the inside, so I just wanted to get a look at that, and I was breaking off all this old seal. So I can get the seals. They're like, I don't know, 40-50 bucks for the aftermarket ones on eBay, so I can do that. I did those on my 124 and they were pretty good for the price, but I don't know. You guys let me know. Should I stick with the iconic, you know, 2 different size mirror look like the 201s and 124s have, or should I do a more race style look, DTM style look with, you know, like a carbon fiber plate or aluminum plate, and then a mirror sticking out like I've done in the C55. Random thought, not exactly what this video is about at all, but it's just in my head and I wanted to ask you guys. So in the comments, let me know. We're gonna do a video about, like, you know, getting the aesthetics right on this car at some point. We'll do an episode on that during this series, having to do with like wheels and getting the paint kind of as good as we can for what it is, and headlights and all the, you know, exterior aesthetics type of things. So that'll be included in there, but ahead of time, let me know if you guys have any suggestions on those. But I'm so hyped. I'm gonna get this done because I just expected it wasn't gonna be that good, and I thought it was gonna take way longer than it did. And I still got a little bit of time. It's 11 o'clock. I'm gonna stay up late tonight. Still go to work in the morning. I wake up like 5:30-ish. So if I get to bed by 12, I'll be all right. Pull a little bit late nighter, but let's finish this up. I'm gonna jam out to some tunes, time lapse you guys with some tunes, and I'll catch you after. All right, guys, and again, amazing results My back is tired. I am tired. It's time for bed. All right, you guys, and just like that, we are back off of a fresh night of rest. It is bright and early right now. Well, not even bright so early, but we got to get started. It is actually Saturday, the day you guys are going to be seeing this, and this is where we're at. We got to get everything thrown back in. I got to figure out at least the passenger side seat bracket. I don't know if I'll start on the driver's side, just because I'm going to need room over there to kind of situate our pedal assembly, etc. But yeah, we're going to get things thrown back in. Again, the Angelus leather product, as you guys saw, this stuff is just, it's absolutely amazing. Like I mean, it literally looks like it was a black seat the whole time. It doesn't look like I dyed this. It just looks like this is a factory black seat, and I can't believe it, but I'm so happy at the same time. So I'm gonna throw this back piece in. Our upper trim is in there. Let me see if I can get some light for you guys. But there's our back seat, also looking fantastic. Our black carpets, and our rear tray is also sitting up there with our speaker plates just kind of mocked in place. I do plan on going to the pick and pull this weekend, not related to this video, but I'm gonna try to find a third brake light out of a 202 or a 210 and see if one of those will be able to be retrofitted and made to work somehow. So let me go ahead and throw this in. We're gonna get our other carpet piece in on the passenger side, and then I'm gonna start working on the seat bracket and figuring out if we can make these fit without having to remove our B-pillar assembly. So let's do it. All right, you guys, another little while you're in their project. I was too curious to leave them alone. The little inner liners here, as you can see, before and after, I used the Angelus leather dye, and I was just, like I said, too curious. Did a little test spot down here. It looked pretty good, so I sent it, and I'm so happy that I tried it out, because this is definitely going to be done to all of these now. Didn't take me long, probably 5 minutes or so. Just little by little went over it and got nice coverage on both sides. So very happy with that. Definitely cleans up, you know, entering the cabin a little bit, and just gives a little more tie-in to the now black interior. So a few touch-up spots that I did on the upper panel here, or upper seat, so that should be ready to go. I'm going to throw that in, and then we'll move on to our front seat and carpets. All right, you guys, tell me that doesn't look killer. We got both seats mounted. Or not both seats, but you know, both sections of the rear seat. I just went and did a few touch-up spots. I got to clean up these seat belts. The seat belts are kind of nasty, but yeah, overall I'll let them kind of wear in. If I need to touch up spots here and there, then I will, but I mean, they're not going to use a whole lot. There'll be a car seat sitting in the middle for Maze, and besides that, you know, not a ton of usage. But just looking back here, it'll be nice. So I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. 32 bucks in leather dye, and I still have two little jars of it. So we still got a little bit left in this one, and yeah, we did both sections basically with 1.5 bottles. So pretty good value for what we got as an end result. There is a lot of leather dye kits out there that are like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So 32 bucks, I'll take it. How they turned out. All right, you guys, wow, this is like putting a tuxedo on the car. This is really starting to look like something now with the front carpet panels in, and that's not even like center console and all that stuff. That's really gonna make everything pop once all this is hidden in the middle. But that said and done, let's go ahead and start to work on our seat brackets. The one thing that I don't have, that I can spray these to make do for now, but I would like to find an actual set of black ones, just because, you know, these are kick panels. They're gonna get hit and scuffed and this and that, and I guess it would be a good durability test for the spray paint to see how long it holds up. But we might be better off just finding a black pair of these, and I think the one on the passenger side, one of them is kind of cracked anyways. So it's a combination of like rubber and plastic. I got some spray paint that I think would stick to it, so we could do it for now. But you know, later on, I think it'd be best to find a black set of those. I'm also really curious if these and those from other chassis will work, because for the most part, this is the same design Mercedes has used. It's the same little gold prong clips that they use on pretty much everything. So it's more so about kind of the lip design over here. I'm sure there's some chassis where I could take these off of and experiment and get them to work, but we'll figure something out for now for today's video. But let's get to the seat, because that's going to be the most time consuming process of all this. And like I said, it's like 7 on the same day you guys are going to watch this. So I'm running out of time. All right, guys, so quick coverage of how these seat brackets work from Garagistic, which I'm gonna make my own video on this just for the seat brackets and installing into 190E alone, because there's not really anything on YouTube very much. So I will do that probably for the driver's side, but today we're just gonna kind of rip through it. But a quick explanation, these brackets are kind of modular assemblies. There are the feet that are on the back sides that get attached with these included Allen bolts. On the inside, you will also attach your seatbelt buckle bracket to that same connection. And then the fronts are just, you know, bolt in with regular bolts. And then the cool thing about this is because they're kind of modular, it makes it easy to install the back bolts. Like if you wanted to do the back bolts first and then do the Allen bolts, you can do that. I don't have any of these tightened up yet. I'm just gonna kind of mock up everything first, and then I'll start tightening things down as we go. But yeah, let's get into it. All right, you guys, seat bracket is situated for the most part. Obviously, we're gonna have to probably slide this back and forth a bit to kind of find our sweet spot, but the bolts are tightened down for now. And yeah, this thing's solid, so let's go ahead. I already got one side of our seat rails mocked up from when I was test fitting this last time. Basically, my plan is I'll kind of get it to where I think it needs to go with the seat rails on. And then my plan is to basically, once I figure out where these go, I'll try to mark it on the bracket that's sitting in there. And then I'll take the seat out, take these off, mount these on first, then put the seat back and mount up these Allen bolts on both sides. I don't know how, you know, position wise and everything, like how much lean I need on the seat, so we'll see. But I think that'll be the easiest if I can sneak in the inner bolts on that side, which I think I'll be able to, but I may need to swap to a traditional bolt head on the insides at least, so that I can use, you know, like a angled wrench instead of socket, just to have a little more room if I need to move them around. But yeah, let's just keep going. All right, you guys, seats all mounted up. Just kidding. This is gonna be a longer project than I thought to get this to fit, and we did not have time for it in today's episode, but we got a huge chunk of progress done. At least it's starting to look amazing in here. I did the other trim here in the back, just so you guys get an overall idea of what the side will look like with those pieces done. I'm actually in the process of making the little kick panels black, so we'll get those thrown in. The driver's side and the passenger side seats are gonna be an endeavor, so I'm gonna dedicate a video to that, because I just feel like it's necessary at this point, and we're running out of time for today's video, so gotta do what I gotta do. Next episode, we're probably not going to be focusing on the interior, but I'll be sure to update you guys with how it kind of finalized and how it turned out in the end. But we're going to start moving back towards this side of things. And I can't wait, because to hear this thing fire up for the first time is going to be incredible. This whole project is a whole new journey for me. I have never dove this far into, you know, building a car myself, tearing it down. Kind of every piece we're gonna go through on this car, every asset of this car we're gonna go through, and I'm just excited. So thank you guys for watching. Kind of craftsmanship projects, but hey, it's really rewarding, and hope some of the products I use will help you guys kind of figure out what you would want to use if you have a plan to do this on your cars. So stay tuned. I will catch you on the next episode of Benz'n on a Budget. Peace.